JoJo and Chris have a little bit over a 10-year age difference, and that can work, but it can also be difficult because they're simply in very different stages of life when we look at it astrologically. I'm not the kind of astrologer who tells people that their relationship will or won't work based on the astrology. I just like to talk about the energies. And when we're looking at somebody who's 22 versus someone who's 32, you're looking at the older person has already been through their Saturn return, and that is a significant turning point in life. You're like leaving youth and you're really starting adulthood for the first time. And someone who's 22, while, like you said, JoJo is very mature for her age, she also has an out of bounds moon. So people with out of bounds moons tend to be, or if if they're not carried out of this world and sort of on the extreme fringes of the world, they can tend to be very emotionally intelligent. They can see things that happen in the world and understand people very well. She also has her moon in harmony with her Mercury, so she understands her feelings and can express them very well, which is also something that Chris can do. That's one of the similarities between them with their moons and Mercuries. But at the same time, there are still several different stages that people go through from 21 to 30. And so when she turns 23, she'll be in a 12th house profection year, which tends to be or can be fairly difficult. It is an end of a cycle. You end up, really reassessing things, maybe letting go of a lot of things at age 23, and then you start a new 12-year cycle. At age 25, you have your lunar planetary period. So the moon becomes significantly active. I mean, that could be anything. That could be, moving, that could be having children. It can relate for her, since her moon's in the 10th house, relate to career and then also home, 4th house, but a lot of things can change. Then finally, from 27 to 30, that tends to be what I call the cosmic gauntlet. And so that can be very, very challenging because there are a lot of things that go on during that period. At 27, you have your progressed lunar return. So it starts a whole new lunar cycle for you. And oftentimes you see things ending or moving, or some people have babies, that kind of thing. Then you have your nodal reversal around the same time, and that is when sometimes you go back and do something totally different or things flip around. And then around 28 to 29, you start your Saturn return. And this is really when you begin assessing, the past 30 years, since you were born, and whatever is not coming into the next stage of Saturn tends to end. And so, if two people, even if they're not in the same stage of life, can kind of still work together through that period of time of growth, then it can work out. I think that an age gap like this tends to work better after both people have gone through Saturn return, but you never know. One thing I do know is that whenever we encounter people, it tends to be for a divine purpose. And, the things that I've already talked about so far in the relationship, especially the Pluto connection. So there is definitely something here about transformation and growth. And, JoJo seems to be the type of person who would likely just explore that and see where it goes, just like she's also said in some of the videos.